Our storm so far this evening, the one that we had move on through Virginia Beach earlier, did have some significant hail, although small hail. A lot of people did report it coating up the ground there, as overall the atmospheric setup is conducive to some hail there, but not seeing it in this particular cell. Definitely some gusty winds, and we certainly have that couplet there that you can see showing up over Poplar Branch. But as of right now, I don't see any talk from the Weather Service or any update from them, and there currently is not any warning on it, but certainly some very gusty winds. Could it be up to 40, 45 mile per hour gusts within this, and it's moving due east. And I wouldn't doubt but before it moves offshore that we could have a little bit of some small hail in it, as well as just overall that's been the signature. An update for you, there's still pretty good signature there of some spin, at least over near Poplar Branch, pretty much right along 158, just north of Grandy and Grandy Road in that particular area. Very heavy rain, Collington Circle, Grandy itself, we're talking 1 inch, inch and a half per hour rainfall rates there, and you can see it kind of generally moving on off towards the east here. This is a 30-minute run of it. It moved over Riddle, Goose Creek, and came out of Elizabeth City, but really after it moved east of Elizabeth City, it started to really kind of take advantage of some lingering dynamics in those areas. And we had talked about that on air, that would be a possibility with this southern tier of a fragmented line of showers. If it interacted with some modest instability, which obviously is present down in Currituck County and portions of far northeastern North Carolina, we could see a quick flare-up and intensification. Thankfully, it is not all that far off from pushing east and fully offshore and not being a threat to anybody. But in the meantime, for the next 15, 20 minutes, it'll be over at least some populated areas, Poplar Branch, north of Olds near Grandy, south of Water Lily, and then eventually moving towards southern shore. So that's what we're watching right now. I still don't have any hail signature on this one right now, but there definitely is an overall signal there that the cell itself is rotating and spinning right over Poplar Branch and now moving over Currituck Sound. So keep that in mind. We're going to keep a very close eye on that and see if the Weather Service does put any warning on it. Elsewhere across our area, there's not much else going on. We have a few showers that are all benign in nature off to the northwest here, emerging out of Richmond. And as they try to push towards James City County, out towards Saluda and Matthews and Gloucester, they are generally falling apart, and they have more of an easterly component than a southeasterly component at this time. And any storms or heavier downpours are just consolidating down along the actual frontal boundary that's now dipping towards the northern shore of the Albemarle Sound at this time in the evening. Again, we're only about an hour out from, let's see, do we just get something that came out there? No, not seeing anything. We're just about an hour out from sunset this evening, so we'll be seeing our storm threat really drop off. And honestly, aside from this that we're watching, which again has no warning on it in Currituck County, we're not seeing any other storms that are threatening this hour. But if you are watching from this area, it's certainly pretty rough there right now with very heavy rainfall. I'm not seeing, well, there's one lightning strike being picked up on radar here, maybe some thunder in there too. Heavy rain, gusty winds, and still no hail signature on this particular cell here, which is interesting. We'll see if as it moves over the Currituck Sound and over towards southern shores, if it does pick that up, but not seeing that so much right now, but certainly still a pronounced sign that it is a rotating thunderstorm now just east of 158 and Poplar Branch area there, that we could be seeing something if it reaches the ground, but no indication of that. And again, there is currently no warning put out on it from the National Weather Service, and it is just a couple miles from pushing out into the open Atlantic and not being a potential threat to anybody. Still not seeing any chatter from the Weather Service in regards to this. I'd call it a strong thunderstorm, although even you see the lightning strikes, there are no indications that there's even any thunder within this elevated downpour. Pretty much that's all it is right now, with some potential gusty winds. In fact, let's put some numbers on these wind gusts potentially. We are getting a sampling, though, relatively far away. So numbers that we see here, even though they're not terribly high, up to 30 miles per hour, probably aren't reaching the ground like that. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. Moving through the Poplar Branch area, south of Water Lily, south of Knott's Island. Still some showers there, but again, that is the only cell that we are watching right now. As you get down towards Nag's Head, Kill Devil Hills, some rain for you there right now, right along NC 12. Nag's Head's quiet at this hour, but it's just this one cell that's now over the Currituck Sound and moving pretty much due east towards Hunt Club Road in Currituck County. So you can see that there. And as we zoom out, that is really it. Any thunder or lightning being picked up here, you see the count jumping to 53. That's all well east. And actually, those are the remnants. Oh, why is that so big? Those are remnants of our past cell that came through Virginia Beach. That was a severe thunderstorm warned cell earlier. That's now way offshore, and that's the residual thunder from it. So no thunder or lightning being picked up on this cell, but there is at least a little bit of an indication here that there is some spin associated with it. Definitely a couplet there. That's a little more elongated now, but gusty winds possibly making it down to the surface there near Hunt Club Road over the Currituck Sound, now approaching the far eastern extent of Currituck County before you hit the open waters of the Atlantic. So just for a little while longer, we'll have that threat there for potentially some gusty winds. Still not seeing any regard to any mention of it, that the Weather Service is keeping a tab on it. Off to the north and west, a few showers there emerging out of Richmond, near Petersburg into Chesterfield. A few heavier downpours in there, but again, no thunder or lightning. These are all stable air mass showers because the front has already passed through. These are just residual showers that are developing behind it with some leftover energy, and that's really about it. It's just some heavier downpours here. That's currently situated over Northern Branch, Jarvisburg, just north of you there, north of Southern Shores, and some heavier downpours now just offshore near Knott's Island as well. So we'll stay with this cell until this signature of a couplet does push offshore and east and clear of anybody at all being any impact there. But if you're watching from this area, not seeing any hail signature still, but certainly some very heavy rain right over Whalehead Drive on NC-12 there in northern portions of Currituck County. Moving out of Grandy along 158, Poplar Branch, Bayview Drive, Grandy Road, just to the northeast of Jarvisburg Road, Bufflehead Road. You're pretty much out of it there, but it's pretty much along NC-12 over Currituck Sound at this time, with still a pretty pronounced signature there that the overall cell is just rotating. No evidence of there being any sort of warning being put out by the Weather Service, but that's certainly something to watch there. That's well aloft. We're getting a sampling from the Wakefield radar site, so we're pretty far away from that radar site there. So this is sampling high up in the clouds, so it's definitely rotating aloft. There's no indication that that rotation is making it down to the ground at this hour. So that's the last of it. That's really it. Off to the north and west, there's not much else. You go back the last 3 hours, and we did have that one cell. In fact, let's go back and look at that, because that was an excellent specimen to watch as it emerged here out of Suffolk. So it moved through downtown Suffolk. It was a strong storm at that point. Moved through Deep Creek and had a lot of heavy rain through Norfolk and South Norfolk, and then moved towards Fentress, and that's when it really started to develop a hail core. You see it here, that magenta shade, or that purple or that pink shade that's showing up there near Acredale. That was the first kind of hint that there was a hail core developing. And then really, as it moved south of Mapleton, Woodhouse Corner, we had an exemplary signal here east of Salem Road, north of Indian River Road, of there being hail. And then come to find out, we had numerous videos and pictures sent in verifying that there indeed was nickel-sized, dime-sized hail that came down and coated the ground in these areas in central Virginia Beach. So it did verify, radar did pick it up, and it did a great job. And then it hit Sandbridge and moved offshore, and we're currently just watching the one lingering cell here down to the south near Poplar Branch that does not have any signature of producing hail. So this one just has the signature of maybe some weak rotation well aloft and some gusty downpours that are moving through Currituck County near Hunt Club Road, NC-12, and just about to work its way offshore to the east and not be of an issue to anybody at all. So we just wanted to jump on the stream here just in case it did strengthen a little bit. We can get ahead of it and jump on air from here as well. Down to Kill Devil Hills, a downpour for you there right now. Pretty wet evening shaping on up. You can see this kind of playing out. This also taking advantage of what is still modestly unstable air mass. You can see that storm flaring on up, and it looks to be intensifying over inland spots of Dare County and near north of Manio over Kill Devil Hills. So we'll watch that for later on until that moves offshore. But just some lingering downpours here off in the southern portions near Nixonton, Bartlett, Elizabeth City, near Gregory, Poplar Branch, Water Lily, that sort of deal there. You can see this kind of play out that emerged out of Hertford and Gates County. then pushed its way pretty much due east. Didn't really have a north component to it, and is now just hugging the coastline out in Currituck County with the strongest element of that cell, currently right over NC-12, and a good portion of Currituck Sound there too, near south of Corolla. Let's see if we can get any names on here. It doesn't look like we're going to. Hunt Club Road, a few Audubon Drive, Pine Island, heavy rain there, and definitely some gusty winds. And you can still see some generally broad rotation with that. Still no hail signature on this at all. Again, it's probably, in fact, if we can slice this and just see how tall the thunderstorm actually is as we get a little bit closer. I mean, this is topping. We're looking at cloud tops here. This is up to around 20,000 feet. Typically, if you're going to get a nice hail core to develop here, you're going to need that higher as it dips into the colder environment aloft. You need to see that up to at least 30,000 feet or a little bit higher. Not seeing any evidence of there being any sort of a hail core set up within this particular cell here right now. We can even move it around a little bit, get a better sampling of that. None of that cell is really dipping any higher than 22,000 feet up in the air there. So that's the last lingering cell that we're watching here. Let's see. Nope, nothing coming in from the Weather Service still. Okay, so we're just watching that one last lingering downpour. And south side up through the peninsulas, maybe a few sprinkles out there. I just did step out the door here in Norfolk, and we had some partial sunshine out there breaking through the cloud deck. So cooler, drier air is already beginning to infiltrate. And one way we can kind of see that is looking at our dew points. Okay, let's pull those up here. And we've got dew points that have fallen now into the mid-50s at Newport News. Hampton with a dew point of 55, Norfolk at 58. So these are down considerably from just earlier than when they were in the mid-60s. So there's plenty of moisture content available. And even air temperatures have fallen back into the 60s. You look up towards Richmond in the 50s now. Same out of Tappahannock. But still, you go down to the Outer Banks, these areas are holding on to some modest instability with air temperatures there right now, upper 60s and low 70s. And check out their dew points, they're still up in the mid-60s. So there is some energy still available here for some isolated storms to take it. You can see this cluster kind of flaring up a little bit. Let's go back 15 minutes. And you can just kind of see it, especially the one over Kill Devil Hills. Let's go back 30 minutes here. See, just it flares up right over Nags Head, East Lake, inland spots of Dare County there. So that's pushing east as well. And then the original cell that we started the stream about was this one here. That's right over coastal sections of Currituck County. Still with, now this is a very broad rotation with it. So it was tighter earlier. And it is looking a little more broad as it begins to exit and push out into the open waters of the Atlantic. Down south here, this could be something that's going to flare up a little bit more, but again, it's in the process of pushing due east and will be, there's an update for you, showing it a little bit stronger, but still no lightning or thunder detected on radar from this one. And just some heavy rain over 158, just north of Nags Head, Kill Devil Hills, East Lake, just north of Buffalo City, 264 there, the bridge to get over to the Outer Banks. Just seeing that heavier downpour to your north there, likely an ominous-looking sky. And here's our downpour, pretty much almost completely situated offshore. And there we go. Now we are starting to see a little bit of a hail signature over Pine Island itself. The most recent run here showing Pine Island possibly seeing half-inch diameter hail there, right over Racket Club Drive. This is on coastal areas of Currituck County. This is just the most recent run of radar. You can see it. I'll go back. Just flared up here. Right over Pine Island, seeing possibility of some pea-sized hail in this cell there. And you can see the update there showing the heaviest of the, usually that hail data lags a little bit from radar data. So the hail core is probably, let's see, I'll show you right here where the hail core likely is. Right over here where we can see kind of a better reflectivity return on radar. It's probably just offshore now. But you see the lag behind showing the hail core still over land. Right over Pine Island here in Currituck County, Racket Club Drive. So there could be half-inch size hail, which would correlate to probably pea size by the time it makes it to the ground, or even dime size. There's an update, shows that really shrinking in coverage there. So very small hail possible in that area with that cell here near Baum Trail and right over Currituck County, about to head offshore. These cells down here to the south in Kill Devil Hills, are they starting to exhibit any hail signature? No. I'm not seeing much in the way of any gusty winds as well. Let's move this a little farther south, see if we can pick up a sample from There we go, from Morehead City. You see that switching up. We can get a sampling from a radar. We're in between radar sites, pretty much. We've got the Wakefield radar to the north, Morehead City to the south. So we were getting overlapping radar returns. And if I just get in a little farther south, I get that. I can switch it up. You see they're switching. So Wakefield, Morehead City. A little bit of a better signal there from Morehead City there. Let's see if we got any hail from that. No. But showing just some heavy downpours here out by Kill Devil Hills over towards Nags Head. And now our cell here is now completely offshore. Hunt Club Road, NC-12 into Currituck County north of Duck. Seeing a very heavy downpour. No lightning or thunder, at least detected by radar here. It may be a elevated lightning and thunder, not hitting, not striking the ground, but just a heavy downpour there on the far southern portion of our cold front. North and west, one last check up in here. Not much going on. Nice and quiet. Just some residual showers. You can see those rapidly weakened. They had some heavier downpours, lightning and thunder as it moved through Powhatan and over into Fluvanna and portions of Chesterfield north of Petersburg. But they really died out as they're moving into now what is a little more stable of an air mass. This is just the last bit of instability here down to the south. You can see it really taking advantage of here about an hour out from sunset into Dare County. Nags Head, Kill Devil Hills. Just be prepared for some heavy rain if you're going out for a an evening jog or walk or anything. Just keep in mind you're going to have some heavy rain on you in the short term. This cell here over Currituck now safely offshore was showing a little bit of some hail signature there. It does look like there still is one, but that is now also shifted offshore. You see that over to the east of Pine Island there, some very small hail potentially in that cell, and not seeing any signature here from these ones that are over southern Currituck and Dare County for just heavy rain in those particular areas. But that's the latest, folks. I'm going to go ahead and jump off this stream. That's the latest. We've got a few showers lingering out there, but predominantly we'll see improving weather as we go through the remainder of our evening. And I have a beautiful weekend ahead of us now. If anything changes, we'll jump back on here. We'll watch those cells down to the south and into Dare County as we go through the next hour or so. But after sunset, all the threats for anything unsettled or strong will be long gone. I hope you enjoy your Friday evening. Again, tune back here on the streaming site, 13 News Now Plus, or if it develops into a warning, we'll jump over on our TV side as well. Have a great Friday.